Hey guys, this is Camfrey15 and I'm back at it with another video for you guys. And this is another Flash video review. Our Flash episode review. Tonight's episode was a really good episode. You know, we got some good things to be looking forward to as well as what this episode had to offer. And I thought this episode was so far, this was the best episode of the second half of the season. It's only going to get better from this, and especially much better after that last episode. God, sometimes these holiday episodes for the CW TV shows are just bad. Last week's episode was pretty bad, honestly. But anyways, we're here at Flash episode 12. So anyways, we're gonna get this started with Iris. It cuts to Iris at the start of the episode, still being trapped in the mirror, and she runs into, lo and behold, Eva McAuliffe. And essentially, she's been trapped. And, because she's trapped, essentially, people think she's dead. So, because she's been trapped in this mirror she later says she's been trying to escape 320, 22 times. She's been gone for a long time. So, she does tell her story. She says 6 years ago, she was developing, I didn't catch what she was making or writing, but she was developing something, and then when the particle accelerator went off, the dark matter pushed her into the mirror, and that's what eventually you find out gave her mirror powers, because it looks like she's going to be the new mirror master. Essentially, she also does say that the fake Iris we've been seeing was the one that pulled Iris into the mirror and essentially switched her out. So yeah, another thing. So really, it cuts to Ralph, and he's still looking for Sue Dearborn. And essentially, Cecile comes in and she wants to help Ralph with this, but Ralph's like, no, I got this. Then it cuts back to Barry, which was kind of the side plot of this episode. It cuts to Barry and Iris, well, the fake Iris, and they're in the house, and we do get a Supergirl mention about Supergirl working with Lex. If you haven't been paying attention to Supergirl, if you're only a Flash fan, Supergirl, is not working with Lex. It's kind of complicated. It's Lex Luthor. If you know Lex Luthor, he's someone to trust. But they make a mention about what's going on in Supergirl's storyline. So if you want to check that out, I'd highly request you check it out. It's pretty interesting where that's going. But the fake Iris asks Barry, because she's doing more investigation research. She's asking Barry to get the mirror gun from Star Labs. And Barry's like, no, you can't have that, because what if the people come after you again and try to hurt you or kill you or something like that? So obviously, the fake Iris is like, okay, that's fine, I understand. But we do later find out that she does go to Star Labs. Anyways, Ralph ends up finding Sue Dearborn's location, and when she shows up, her apartment almost literally explodes. And it was thanks to her she saved Ralph. So then Sue explaining her story is she says that she fell in love with this arms dealer slash murderer called John Laureen or something like that. And essentially she can't contact anybody, otherwise literally her loved ones will die, or in this case her parents, and that's why she can't face her parents. So Ralph, he says, no, let me handle this because of this, and so you don't get killed or so your parents don't get harmed. But then Sue says, essentially tells him, look, I don't want you to get hurt. And then eventually they make a partnership and they work together to try to stop this issue. It does cut back to Iris and Eva. Iris still has a belief that, there's a way out, but Eva doesn't believe that, and obviously you can see that she's losing her mind, because she does make a mention, being in here, you start to lose your mind, and you start to go insane. She starts getting crazy, and she tried, like I said earlier, She tried 322 times to escape, and she's all failed. Iris comes up with the idea because of, I think, a past season thing with Killer Frost they tried to use with the mirror gun. And she essentially says, let's use liquid nitrogen to escape the mirror, like freeze the mirror and escape it. So yeah, we'll cut back to what that's doing. So anyways, it cuts to back to Ralph and Sue. They're at the little location where John is obviously doing the arms dealing. Ralph starts to take pictures of it, and essentially he gets attacked by one of John's men. But it's thanks to Sue that he is he got saved. So he, in a way, he owes her another debt. We do find out that has learned martial arts. They go to Jitters, or New Jitters, and Cecile sees them together, and she essentially read both their minds, and she was telling Ralph, like, you guys are having the same type of vibe. You guys are like, I see you guys are connecting. And Ralph's like, whoa, we're not dating, we're not going on a date, nothing. So yeah, obviously, if you don't know, Ralph and Sue, well, which will later be called Dibney, they eventually will get married and end up together in a relationship. And they had a lot of, teases at, that of relationship moments and stuff like that in this episode. So yeah, obviously Cecile's hinting at the soon to be future relationship between Ralph and Sue, and Ralph kind of shoots it down. So anyways, it cuts back to Iris and Eva. They use liquid nitrogen. It doesn't end up working, and it actually breaks the glass. So it's looking like now they have no way to get out of there. And she's losing her mind, and she's just like, see, we tried this for nothing. Now it cuts back to what fake Iris is doing, because it shows Star Labs, and essentially, fake Iris goes into Star Labs to try to retrieve the mirror gun, and she runs into Nash Wells. And Nash Wells asks her a question like, "What are you doing down here?" and stuff like that. And she's like, "Oh, I was looking for Nora's little book," because stuff like that. And as Nash Wells is talking to her, the fake Iris, you see the Harry image, pop up where he's like saying, "What are you doing down here?" and stuff like that. It's going crazy. Essentially, fake Iris tells Nash Wells, like, look, don't tell Barry I was down here. Tell her I was just here because I don't want him to break down because of the Nora situation and stuff like that. And she's able to get the mirror gun out of there. So it cuts back to what Ralph and Sue are doing. They raid this one base where, the keys to, I guess, the safe where the valuable thing the John character has is in his little, workroom. They get the keys, and then, there's obviously this huge skyscraper thing. There's this huge drop, and essentially they don't know if they're going to get out. And Ralph basically shows off his powers to Sue and confirms that he is, elongated man. So then after we come back from the break, Sue, her plan is to go to the bank to get into the safe. And essentially Ralph's like, wait, that means we're just robbing the bank. And she's like, well, we have no other option. And what Ralph wanted to do was take it to CCPD to, have Joe and maybe Barry look at it and, help them out with this. But then she's like, no, we can't do that. It would take too long. So Ralph eventually goes with her plan and stuff like that. And that goes on. Now, another side plot which the last couple of episodes, Barry has not been a huge aspect, which I cannot wait for next week because now finally we'll actually get to see the Flash in the Flash. But essentially, Joe talks to Barry saying that the Carver stuff, that there's been much more, crazy deaths going on, which has, a resulting, effect of what Carver's been doing. And he thinks that someone's working within CCPD to essentially cover up these cases and essentially, try to make Carver not look like a bad guy. So yeah, and then Barry does talk a little bit about, what's going on with Iris, the fake Iris, and essentially Joe's like, well, why can't you trust family, So eventually that kind of lets Barry just kind of give in to him giving the mirror gun to Iris, which we find out later on. So it cuts back to what they're doing in the mirror world of Iris and Eva starts losing it. She's going crazy, and Iris is telling her to calm down. But when she's getting crazy, this piece of glass starts shaking, the glass of the mirror, and eventually it lands into Eva's hand. And Iris gets an idea obviously to refix the mirror. But then this kind of looks like Eva's going to be Mirror Master. And one reason why is she's literally going insane. So obviously I can see her turning into Mirror Master. So we'll see how this goes. Now it cuts to Ralph and Sue, what they're doing, and they're robbing the bank. Now Ralph shape shifts into Joe and stuff like that, while Sue is acting like, one of the cops. And they knock the dude out, and essentially they go in there, they get the safe, and they get the diamond, which was the prize, which was a diamond that they were looking for. And essentially, this is when we get Sue tricking Ralph and essentially betraying him. But even before that, Sue tells a pretty sad story of the fact that she's kind of like a little bit of a socially awkward person, and she's finding it hard to find herself with find really find herself and stuff like that. And Ralph kind of says like, yeah, I kind of was the same way, but when you find yourself and you get on the right path, you'll be good to go forward. And I was like, oh, that's a nice thing. And they stared at each other for a second, and it looks like there's really a connection between the two. And they obviously Ralph cares about Sue a lot. Now, albeit, do we know her intentions? Do we know if Sue cares about Ralph? Because like I said, she later ends up betraying him and stuff like that. So yeah, I'll talk more about the Sue thing when I'm finished with this storyline. So essentially, Sue escapes with the Ralph to escape because essentially the bars are electrified with like a crazy amount of volts, so he can't escape without getting fried. He goes through the water system, and essentially gets out. He catches up with Sue, but then the same guys they raided at the base they raided show up, and then they kind of deal with that. Those guys are taken out, and then we see the one villain who was trying to kill Allegra a few episodes ago in the first half of the season. And that happens. Obviously, Sue eventually, she has the box. She actually takes the diamond and just walks out with it. She gives Ralph the box, and Ralph shows, the assassin, the freaking radioactive assassin, the box, and she just gets out of there. And it's looking like Ralph's in trouble. Barry shows up as the Flash, stops him, saves the day and stuff like that. So at the end of the last few minutes of the episode, it cuts back to Star Labs. They try to find Sue's facial recognition, but they can't find her because essentially she like got herself off the grid. So obviously she's somewhere in Central City hiding. And then Ralph gets really upset at the fact that he fell for Sue's betrayal. So obviously that's going to be character development for him and stuff like that. And like I said, Barry gives fake Iris the mirror gun. And as Iris is walking out with the mirror gun, she gives this little snarky smile where she's like, and I'm like, that's not good. That's not good. So anyways, it cuts back to the mirror world. Eva actually fixes the mirror because Iris, basically tells her, like, you can do it and stuff like that. And then as the episode ends off, it cuts to, Iris looking through the mirror. And Barry looks up at the mirror and he's looking in the mirror and it's like, wait, is he seeing what I'm seeing? And yeah, so that's where the episode ends off. Now, the post-credit scene was when Sue is analyzing the diamond she stole. And essentially, it has a black hole logo on that diamond when she did, forensics and stuff like that. And it's looking like she's going against, Carver, because there were newspapers about him. So obviously, that's looking like where it's going, and she's looking like she's gonna rebel against him. And she also did tell, and I forgot to mention, she also did tell, Ralph that all the things she was telling Ralph, it was kind of much of a lie. Like, she really didn't have her boyfriend that was after her to kill her, and stuff like that. And really the real reason why she doesn't want to go talk to her parents because she doesn't want her parents seeing that she's a thief, essentially. So essentially, she's kind of like Black Cat right now. So Ralph has a Black Cat kind of issue going on. So yeah, this episode was really good. I liked it. It did suck that the Flash is not in, but he's gonna be in the episode from majority next week because it's the Grodd episode. I really liked the actor that played Sue. She did a great job in this episode, and you can obviously see that Hartley Sawyer and the actor that plays Sue, they have some really good chemistry in their scenes because almost every scene they were together, they had some really good chemistry and they were hitting it off really well. I like the actor that plays Sue. I'm gonna try to see if I can find her real actor's name. But she did a really good job. I'm very impressed with her performance tonight. It made Sue a really good character, and it's looking like Ralph is gonna come across Sue again. Obviously, he's gonna come across her again at some part in the season, or maybe every now and then this back half of the season. I think slowly but surely, what I think they're gonna do. The plot is, he's gonna slowly but surely turn Sue to the good side, and she's gonna start liking him much more than the next, person, because it looks like she gives him his nickname called Slick, which is I think it's pretty funny and I guess in her terms pretty cute. But it seems like what they're gonna do is they're gonna make her look like a petty criminal, like just a thief essentially. Like I said, she's like Black Cat to Spider-Man. She's a thief, and she likes to play mind games and trick people. I think what they're gonna do is they're slowly but surely gonna have her get more adjusted to Ralph, and Ralph is gonna teach her the ways of being good and better, and then they're going to turn that into a full-fledged relationship, and then sometime down the road they'll eventually get married and officially become the Dibneys. So yeah, she also does make a mention. She's like, "Don't tell what I'm doing, and I won't tell your little secret," and stuff like that. So obviously Ralph is gonna see her again. I'm liking where this plot line's going. It's looking like it's gonna be an interesting relationship angle. It's gonna be taking it one step at a time, but it's gonna be interesting to see where this Sue Ralph relationship goes. Obviously we're gonna see what the evil fake Iris does. We're also going to see if Iris is going to escape with Eva out of the mirror world, and stuff like that. But other than that, it was a really good Flash episode, and I can't wait for next week because it's a Grodd episode. Because we always get Grodd episodes. There's always something. From what I know, I think Grodd is asking for the Flash's help with something. I don't know too much, but other than that, we're seeing Grodd again. So yeah, other than that, this Flash episode was really good. I liked it a lot. So nothing else to complain about. Much better than the last couple of episodes. I will say my only negatives for the last 3 episodes, coming back off, the Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover. We rarely seen Flash, so I'm glad that we're getting really what's looking like to be a full-fledged Flash episode. So yeah, other than that, I'm going to get out of here. If you like this video, leave a like. If there's a comment you want to put in the comment section regarding your thoughts on this episode and stuff like that, put in the comment section what your thoughts on it. And also put in the comment section what you think about the Ralph/Sue relationship, as well as how do you like the actor that plays Sue. I liked her a lot. Like I said, she has a lot of chemistry with Hartley Sawyer, the actor that plays Ralph. I'm liking her character a lot, and I was very impressed because usually some actors, it takes some time to get used to. I really like this actor. They got some really good chemistry, So I can't wait to see where that plot lines goes, because that's right now, I would say that's honestly the most intriguing plot line to see where that is going. Not to say the black hole stuff isn't interesting, But it's really interesting to see what they're gonna do with the Ralph and Sue relationship angle. But other than that, yeah. And also if you want to hit that subscribe button, hit that subscribe button if you want to get more season 6 content of The Flash, as well as check out my Supergirl, season 5 content, as well as I'm gonna give my thoughts on Black Lightning and Batwoman when their seasons are done. In the final episode, and when their seasons are done, I gotta catch up with both those shows actually. But other than that, I'm gonna get out of here. Hopefully, you guys have a great night or a great day whenever you're checking this video out. So, I'm going to catch you guys on the next video. Peace.